Hey everybody, JC here. Happy Sunday afternoon. It's 1:15. About to head over to my wife's family restaurant and Boba shop. Spend a little time there and then come on back home. So I figured I'd throw the GoPros on and see how Tesla FSD version 13.2.2 does. So let's get on the road. I've already got everything into the navigation, so all we need to do is push the little blue button and we will be on our way. All right, got the rear camera on, reversing out of the driveway, steering clear of my son's CRV. Stop for a little bit there. Got the neighbor's vehicle directly behind us, so want to make sure we don't hit that either. Got a young lady there, and give her a wave. Out there with a little scooter and her cute pink outfit. All right, we're gonna watch out for the trash cans as well. They did come through and pick up trash yesterday, but it was late in the evening. As you can imagine, with all the bad weather we had, it took the gentleman quite a while to get around. So, man, I tell you what, talk about a rough day to be a sanitation worker. The Saturday after Christmas, so you can imagine all of the trash that was out there. And if you watched my video yesterday, the weather that we endured. So when you see your sanitation workers on the road, give them a wave, tell them thank you. They have a rough job, and it's absolutely critical, but it's rough. A lot of hard-working people in this country that do some really tough jobs. Little kitty cat right there. We avoid them. He or she avoids us. Yeah, we still have a little bit of standing water left to the sides of the road, but nowhere near as bad as it was yesterday, obviously. And no rain. We are overcast right now, but no rain. And it does look like the sun is finally trying to peek out from the clouds right now. So we may actually salvage this Sunday a bit. There we go. Just as soon as I speak, as soon as I get Tesla FSD on the road, the sun peeks out. See? That's what Tesla full self-driving does. It brings sunshine to your life. Now, as soon as I say that, the skies will close back up. There'll be a torrential downpour. So I'm gonna watch my mouth. All right, good on our left blinker, getting to the left turning lane. All right. Right behind this Chevy Equinox, one of Chevy's line of mid-size SUVs. That's one thing, speaking of SUVs, that I really would love to see Tesla do in the future. Is I know we've got the Cybertruck now, and that's definitely been popular and really hit the ground running in a handful of demographics, and it's always going to do well in, you know, certain key demographics, things like that, like a very futuristic looking truck, right? So it's going to have its place, and quite frankly, as they come out with the more affordable Cybertruck here, I have no news on that. I do know that, you know, they have the Cyber Beast that's basically right around 100K, which is essentially the same price as a fully loaded Ford F-150 with all the bells and whistles. So right about the same, but you get FSD with the Cyber Beast, and you don't get that with the Ford F-150. But anyway, price range about the same there. Now they do have the $79,000, $80,000 Cybertruck that they've come out with. I believe that is the dual motor. Does not come with FSD if you don't want that. But I think what a lot of folks are also waiting on is that $59,000, $60,000 Cybertruck, and really get down into some better price ranges. Again, for trucks, we are talking about trucks, right? So if none of y'all are truck drivers and you're used to driving sedans, let the cat out of the bag. Trucks are expensive, especially new trucks. Brand new trucks are expensive. All right, we got a vehicle, I think that's a Chevy Malibu. Yeah. Pulling out there, but we handle that well. So yeah, I think a $59,000, $60,000 Cybertruck would really hit big parts of the mass market. But I say all that to say that I really hope they go into the SUV market. And there's just such a huge population in this country, in the United States. I can't speak to other countries, but in the United States, SUVs are far and away one of the most popular vehicle types. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm in the state of Texas, and the #1 selling vehicle, not truck, selling vehicle is the Ford F-150. The regular internal combustion engine, all the bells and whistles Ford F-150s. It's not the #1 selling truck, it is the #1 selling thing on 4 wheels in the state of Texas. So I get it, trucks are, very popular, but if you get outside of Texas and just the rest of the country, SUVs seem to me to just be the clear #1 consumer choice. And so it's almost like it's imperative that you play in that market. So would love to see that in the future, is some different variations of SUVs. And quite frankly, you could probably build a number of different SUV models on the same factory line. Like, you wouldn't need a different line, so to speak. And what I mean by line is, everything that you have structured around the manufacturing process, generally speaking, is going to be a lot different for a truck versus a sedan versus an SUV versus a mini car. I mean, those are all going to be different lines, because you're going to have so many differences in the manufacturing process that it's actually more efficient to just have a whole separate line. But if you're doing like a handful of variations of an SUV for different segments of the market, those could probably all be manufactured on the same line. The other thing that'll be really cool to see is, Tesla has this unboxed method of manufacturing versus the typical manufacturing process is that, you build everything around the chassis, right? And so there's going to be 300 different, things going on around the chassis, and somebody may work on one thing over there and another thing over there and another thing back there and bring it all around the chassis. But in the unbox process, it's like fewer parts. Like, everything's kind of built together. And so I think that'll be interesting to see as they come out with these more affordable models, the Cybertruck, as they go down into the more affordable versions there. And then, like I said, it seems like Tesla is interested in getting into the SUV market. Again, this is no information I have. This is just me scrolling through X and seeing posts, from different folks in the community. Tesla saying, hey, that would be cool. Even Elon, responded, yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. So I think the tea leaves are that eventually we'll have SUVs. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see them use the unboxed process in that as well in the manufacturing process. All right. But I tell you, out of all of those things, I say all of that about all the different models that will be coming out and that may be coming out. And the one that excites me the most, far and away, is the Cybercab. Is the Tesla version of the driverless, autonomous vehicle with no pedals, no steering wheel, and completely structured, completely manufactured, top to bottom, soup to nuts, for a passenger experience, and the best passenger experience one could have. So everything in that vehicle will be structured around the entertainment and productivity of a passenger, and not about actually driving the vehicle. So if you think about it right now, the vast majority of everything that is in my vehicle, your vehicle, everybody's vehicle, is structured around the driver, which it should be. But in an autonomous world where there is no driver, then there's no need to structure anything in the vehicle around a driver. And you can do it 100% for the benefit of the passenger. And that's going to be a game changer. That is going to be a game changer. And I am big time excited about that. As we go directly into the sun, like I told you, Tesla full self-driving just brings sunshine to everything, including this drive. And it was coming directly into our front windshield. It's about 61 degrees today here in the northeast sector of the greater Houston metropolitan area. No humidity, lots of clouds, a teeny weeny bit of sun trying to peek out every now and then. Right, progressing through here. Well, we got a traffic stop, and bingo, right on cue, Mr. GMC Sierra. I told you, every single time that I put on these cameras, something happens. And there you go, running a red light. What in the world is that thing? Hold on a second. Let me take a look to my left. I think it's like a Lego toy. I'm pretty sure it's very... I don't know. I'm going to have to check out what that thing is. It looked like it got into an accident and got hit from the front and behind. But I bet you it's efficient. I don't know if it's gas or electric, but either one, it can't use much of either one. Oh, man. Interesting. Very interesting. And is that the... No, that's a Ford F1. There it is. So there he is, the guy that just ran the red light. And here we are, right by each other again. Food for thought. The guy just ran a red light that I was behind. And where are we in relationship to each other now? I'm ahead of him. Yeah. That is another reason why autonomy is the future. I mean, we're proving that a lot of these human, and I get it, it's human instinct. He doesn't want to be stopped. He sees an opportunity. He doesn't want to sit there at the red light for another 45 seconds. So that human nature, human instinct takes over. But it can get you killed. It can get you T-boned. And on something like this, I think it's pretty clear that we're better off trying to take as much human nature and human instinct out of the driving experience as much as we can. Don't get me wrong. There is always going to be a place for, I shouldn't say always, there's not all, I mean, heck, there used to be chariot races. I don't see many chariot races. Well, I take that back. I saw a chariot race up at Dollywood one time. Yeah, I think that was that a chariot race or a wagon race? Probably a wagon race. Anything. Wagon, chariot, same thing. But, why did I even say that? Oh, there's always going to be a place for manually driven cars 100 years from now. I think I brought up chariots because chariots were the way people got around 1,000 years ago, right? A couple thousand years ago. And you don't see a lot of people riding around in chariots anymore. But I'm sure they have chariot races somewhere. There's probably a chariot group in Peoria, Illinois somewhere where they all get together on a Saturday and have chariot races, chariot get-togethers, chariot benefits, chariot of the year, chariot driver of the year, best new chariot of 2024, most improved chariot. I'm sure there's all of that. But I say all that to say that you don't see a bunch of them. And there's a reason for that, because technology got better. And if you were a chariot driver back in the year 138 AD, you had to use a lot of instincts, a lot of human instincts. Granted, it was horse-powered, but there was a lot of human instinct. There was skill and talent that went into that. But technology got better. The wagon was better than the chariot. And then the car, powered by an internal combustion engine, was better than the wagon. And in my humble opinion, I believe the fully autonomous vehicle is going to be better than a human-powered, internal combustion engine-powered vehicle in the future. And it's going to win out. Regardless of what someone's feelings are about it in the year 2024, that's not going to matter in the year 2034 and the year 2044. Just not. I'm sure there were chariot drivers back in the day. Get that wagon off the road. That thing's unsafe. But the wagon still won. I'm sure the wagon was a little unsafer than the chariot at first, because you could sit down. You had to stand up in the chariot. You had all your senses going. Everything was honed in. And then you bring about this thing called a wagon where you can just sit there. That seems unsafe to me. You should be standing up. Well, sitting down in a wagon proved to be the winner. And then the internal combustion engine car came along. You know what they had to do with the first internal combustion engine cars that came out back in the late 1800s and early 1900s? They literally had to put a fake horse's head on the front of it to get people comfortable with it, and put it. And what did we do? We talked about its power in terms of what? Horsepower. We had to do all sorts of backflips and internal machinations to get people to realize that, hey, you're actually safer in this car. Are there people like getting in wrecks in these things because they're not used to them yet? Absolutely. But long term, you are going to be safer in this internal combustion engine car, this Ford Model T, than you are in that wagon. So get out of the wagon and pay Henry Ford $500. All right, we are pulling into the Sweet Escape, my wife's family restaurant and boba shop. Let's see how we do in the parking lot here. All right, we're pulling into the parking lot, so we got that checked off. Let's see what she does. You gonna try to park, or are you just gonna stop? We're just stopping today. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and get us parked and go inside and see my wife and my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law and spend a little time with them, and then we'll be back on the road. All right, everybody, see you in a little bit. Bye. All right, everybody, back in the Tesla after spending a little time with the wife, mother-in-law, sister-in-law, some other folks at the restaurant and boba shop. Now it's time to head on back to the casa. So let's go ahead and push the little blue button. All right, got the rear camera on. Stop and straighten out. Make sure we don't hit that curve there. Good job. I didn't know if it was going to do a 3-point turn there, but had enough space. Got some oncoming vehicles, so we got to wait for them. Got one more coming through, and we should be good. There we go. We are on Will Clayton Parkway, and we'll be on Will Clayton Parkway for about 6.5 miles. Take that all the way to Highway 59 East Tex Freeway, go northbound for a little while. So yeah, that's the trip I just did to the Boba. That's probably my #1 daily drive, if you will, in my age of retirement. My #1 daily drive used to be going downtown, because the firm that I worked for, I think I've said this on previous videos, but in my previous life, I was an audit partner at KPMG, which is one of the big 4 accounting firms. Spent nearly 30 years there. Hung up the cleats, as they say, just about 3 months ago, as of September 30th, at the age of 55. Loved it. Great place to build a career. Had a lot of great experiences, met a lot of great people, have some lifelong friends, both KPMG partners and employees, as well as clients that I had throughout the years. But now it's time for me to stop being an audit partner focused on companies' financial statements and international tax regimes and goodwill and long-lived assets on the balance sheet and whether they'll be recovered in the next 3 to 5 years. And it's time to do more important things, like drive around in my car with a GoPro in my face down by the river. This is what happens to you. No, just joking. But no, I did. I had a great career at KPMG. I loved it. A lot of great people there. Great firm. So if you're a Fortune 2000 company out there, or any company, doesn't have to just be an SEC public registrant, but if you're a business venture and you're looking to find somebody to help you grow, get your books right with the Lord, because you got to get those books right, and you want to get your books right with the Lord. That's obviously a joke. And you want to do it soup to nuts, have the right tax structuring, have a proper set of consolidated and consolidating financial statements with supplementary schedules that your bank will love and want to give you even more money, go to KPMG. KPMG is the best Big 4. best people, the best processes, everything. And no, I am not getting paid by KPMG to make that statement. Although I am getting paid by KPMG as a retired partner. Obviously, not any longer from a current business standpoint. I no longer have to kill what I eat, as they say. But yeah, amazing firm. Loved being a part of it. Changed my life. Changed the lives of my family. And family to come. And it was so great that it gave me the opportunity at the age of 55 to go on and do different things. And right now, this is my passion. Is autonomous vehicles, artificial intelligence, and robotics. Wasn't what I really dealt with when I was at KPMG, but that's what life is about, right? And you're never too old to retool, to learn new things. And that's what I've been doing. Because I've been retooling, learning new things, and putting a GoPro up in my car, in my face, so that you can be on that journey with me as you watch an old fart, an old retired KPMG audit partner, get driven around by his car autonomously all over Houston. All right, we're stopped here at the stoplight. We are at the intersection of Will Clayton Parkway and Atascocita Road. Yeah, so I think I wrote down a few questions. This isn't a very long drive, so I'm not going to be able to get through a lot of stuff that's come through on YouTube or X. Quite frankly, I get more questions from YouTube than I do from X, because most of the people that follow me on X are either already in the Tesla community or know a bunch about Teslas. So I get more comments, more suggestions, more support, I guess you would say, from the X community versus YouTube. The comments, the questions are definitely more from a question standpoint. So I really like that. And it gives me something to talk about when we're on some of these drives. Obviously, I want the drives to speak for themselves. So that's why I have the camera at the front windshield and the accelerator and brake bay and the steering wheel, so you can see everything that's going on there. But I also like to talk about any questions that may come up. So one that I may add in, or you tell me in the comments if this is anything that you're interested in. Because at the end of the day, I am an accountant. I'm a retired accountant, so I do not practice anymore. I do not hang out the shingle as a certified public accountant. But just because I don't hang my shingle out anymore, just because I don't break bread day in and day out with other KPMG partners and KPMG clients, doesn't mean that all that knowledge just all of a sudden got dumped out of my head. It's still all up there. And obviously I can't speak about any particular clients or any specific client scenarios. I can talk about accounting and financial reporting and the SEC and how all that stuff works. So y'all let me know in the comments either on YouTube or X if that's something you'd be interested in hearing about as we drive along. I'd be happy to do it. You know, take the Tesla financial statements. I read them every quarter. So I know there's a lot of folks out there on YouTube and X that, you know, and they have some great content as they dissect everything about Tesla and other companies. But it was my day job. That was my day job, was to understand a company's financial statements so well that banks and public investors were willing to give them money based on my signature. So that's something that a lot of folks on X and YouTube can't say, right? So again, I can never speak in specifics, and I never would, and you probably wouldn't even want me to. But if anybody ever has any specific accounting questions about Tesla, about, you know, any other companies in the space around Tesla, I'd be happy to broach those as well along these lines. But at the same time, I also don't want to lose 80% of my subscribers because I start talking about Bitcoin accounting or goodwill impairments, or, you know, how one particular item quarter over quarter can impact cost of goods sold, and where it goes in cost of goods sold, and how often you need to update your time studies for standard costing. There's probably 20% of my subscribers that would absolutely love that, and about 80% of my subscribers would probably unsubscribe right after that video. So yeah, but you know, sometimes I'm surprised at the people that will ask me questions and be interested in it. So it always throws me for a loop. The people that I think would be interested in it aren't. Maybe because they already know, or they think they already know, and they just aren't interested in anybody else's thoughts or opinions on it. And then the folks that I think would have absolutely no interest in it, they're the ones that eat it up. So I don't know, y'all let me know. But that's something I could, you know, whenever quarterly financial statements come out for Tesla, or any periodic reports, yeah, I may start doing that. Just pick a segment and kind of pick it apart, take the earnings call and pick that apart for you, because I'll tell you, that was one of the aspects of my day job as well, is preparing for earnings calls. So I was one of those guys that helped folks prepare for earnings calls. I didn't do them because I never sat in the chair of a CFO or a chief accounting officer. I was always on the public side, but I helped a controller, chief accounting officer, CFO, and in some cases even CEOs get up to speed on certain things prior to an earnings call, especially if a surprise was about to take place. Because I'll tell you, there was one overarching rule when it came to quarterly reporting for an SEC registrant. No surprises, good or bad. Even the good ones, I'm telling you. You don't want too many good surprises either. Because although good surprises can be good in the short term, in the mid to long term, it tells people, do they really have their pulse on what's going on here? They're not able to forecast this stuff? So that was kind of the number one rule. But yeah, I'd be happy to do that. All right, we're getting ready to turn right onto the feeder here. There we go, we get up to the light. Take our right turn. You can turn right on red. We were actually there at a yellow, but it did turn red while we were there. But you can turn right on red in Texas. Now the car to our left that went through the red light, you cannot do that in Texas. Nor do I believe you can do that in any state, run a red light. But so that's twice today that we've seen that. Both going to the Boba shop and leaving. All right, we're along the feeder here. We're about to get up on 59 East Tex Freeway going northbound. Here we go. Getting to the off-ramp. Nice. Okay. Ramp is about, we're going to have to start merging here. We don't have anybody immediately to our left, so the merge is very easy. You got our left blinker on. We're going to continue moving over to the left. Going about 77 and a 6. Oh, we're picking up some speed now, baby. We are going 81 in a 65, but if you look around us, we're going along with traffic. All right, we move over again, get into a little faster lane. That Genesis is bobbing and weaving a bit. That Genesis is bobbing and weaving like Muhammad Ali in the Philippines. Rope-a-dope. Ask George Foreman about that. All right, going about 76 in a 65. Going along well with traffic. Got about 3 miles till we get to our exit. Now we're going about 78. Traffic is moving along well today. So we're not even in the fast lane. And we're going 78. Now we're going to get over to the fast lane. So let's see what we do. Now we're going 81 again, 82. And we are in the hurry mode. Now we're going 83. Look at that. The traffic ahead of us is going faster. We got up to 84 in a 65 there for a second. Now we're back down to 83. But the traffic ahead of us is going faster. So just for everybody's edification, yes, I am on the hurry mode. So there's 3 modes in Tesla FSD version 13. The hurry mode that I'm on, the normal mode, and then there's actually a chill mode. But as you can see, I was going 83 and a 65. Now we're going 82. So we've slowed down. We have slowed down to 81. But again, like I said, folks, I pre-selected the hurry mode. You do not have to be on the hurry mode. You don't. You can be on normal mode. You can be on chill. For me personally, a couple of different reasons why I choose the hurry mode. Number one, I live in the state of Texas. And even further than that, I live in the greater Houston metropolitan area of the state of Texas. And folks here on the highways, they go hard in the paint. So I am much more comfortable. I feel safer being in the hurry mode on some of these Texas highways than on the other 2 modes. Secondly, I like creating content. I like showing all the bells and whistles of Tesla full self-drive. And so if I'm going to show all the bells and whistles, I'm going to put it on the hurry mode, like the nature boy Ric Flair would say. They all want to be like the nature boy. But I want to keep it with all the bells and whistles in the hurry mode. All right, we are back on the feeder, moving our way over to the middle. We're going to be on the feeder for about a mile and then take a right on Knox Drive, go up to our famous railroad intersection, head a little deeper into Porter, and then head on home. All right, coming up to the traffic light. Let's see how we do. We're going, well, we're getting the yellow. So I was going to see what kind of speed we maintained going through the traffic light, but we did not get a chance to do that this go around. Maybe we will next time. Stop here for the stoplight. So yeah, I am keeping a tally of questions. So for some of those longer drives, I do want to go do a downtown Houston drive. So not only drive to downtown Houston, but focus on it and put a bunch of points of interest of downtown Houston into the navigation. But I also want to wait and do that during a weekday when it's a little bit more traffic. Well, not a little bit more traffic, a lot more traffic. And show all the bells and whistles of version 13 in downtown Houston. I've been to downtown Houston on version 13 one time, but it was really more of a pass-through to get onto the museum district and the medical center and Rice University. So I would like to do a dedicated tour around downtown Houston. So I'll get that all put together and I'll do a downtown Houston FSD. I also want to go back to the Galleria area of Houston. So I have done an FSD video of the Galleria area, but man, it was so long ago. I can't even I may have been on version 11. In fact, I think I was. I think the last time that I did a FSD tour of the Galleria area of Houston, I'm pretty sure I was still on version 11. I have to go back and check. But even if it was either version 11 or a very early version of version 12. I'm thinking it was version 11. So it's about time for me to go back to the Galleria as well. But again, that's one where, well, the traffic is always pretty good. I say pretty good, pretty bad around the Galleria. So it makes for good content. And you can really see all the bells and whistles of FSD. But probably would be better to do that at some of the more busy times and show what it can do. So we got downtown, we've got the Galleria. I did Rice University and the medical center and the museum district a couple of weeks ago when I first got version 13. So we may wait a little while on that. I've done the airport on version, granted it was an earlier version of 13 that I had. All right, we're at the railroad intersection here. We've got oncoming vehicles coming from that direction. We move, we go. Excellent. Very decisive, confident. Going over the railroad tracks, put on our right blinker, go in between these vehicles and the giant ditch to our right. Great job. We are not in the ditch. That is always a positive. Stay out of the ditch. Or as my pawpaw used to say, son, if you find yourself in a ditch, the first thing to do is to stop digging. I don't really know what that had to do with FSD, but just came to my mind. It popped into my mind, so I just let it come out. And since I'm retired, I don't have to have a filter anymore. Something pops in my head, I can just say it now. And I've heard with age, that's just going to get worse and worse and worse. So you may see a really interesting journey for me as I get older doing these videos. My filter is just going to get thinner and thinner and thinner. And then one day, you're going to turn that YouTube channel on, or that X channel. My video is going to come through and there's going to be like, whoa, he just said what? Holy moly. Rewind that, Edna. Let me watch that again. All right, we're coming into my neighborhood. So yeah, there's definitely some drives I want to do while I'm still on this version of version 13. So I am on version 13.2.2. But when I say version, I mean version 13.2. So there's even another point release of 13.2.2.1 right now. But I look at it as You know, there's a whole suite of drives that I like to do. Oh, we got some traffic coming through. My guess is this is church traffic. We get around this vehicle. We get over. Great job. Let that truck through. Let's see how we handle this. That truck is going to stop and let us through. Let me give them a wave. Awesome. Great job, Tesla FSD. Awesome. Accepted that courtesy from the truck and took it. Wow. I mean, that is some very good human-like behavior. And again, that is the type of human behavior that has to be learned over time with experience behind the wheel. You know, a lot of 18-year-olds aren't going to understand that, even after a year or two of driving, right? These little subtle dances that we play as adult drivers. All right, we're coming into, we got a Cadillac Escalade that's decided to stop in the traffic circle. Interesting spot, but I guess when you're a Cadillac Escalade and you weigh 2 to 3 more tons than everybody else, you can stop wherever the hell you want to stop. And they just did. So yeah, I am, so when I say version, I'm pretty much mean version 13.2. So I am on the second version, or the second release of version 13.2. And there may even be another release that I get. But then when 13.3 or 13.4 comes out and all its subsequent point releases, then I like to do my suite of drives all over again. Right? So I've got downtown, Museum District and Rice University, Galleria, the Woodlands, the airport. All right, we got a vehicle to the right, but we also got an oncoming vehicle to the left. We do that very well. Nice. And then obviously all of my drives around Porter, Kingwood, New Caney, Humble, Atascocita, you know, those are my daily drives. So I'm always going to do those. But then I have, like, for lack of a better term, gauntlet drives, right? And so when I do those, I'm generally behind the wheel a little bit longer. And in fact, some fairly long durations on the highway. And so when I have those, what I'm going to do is just have my tally of questions that I go through. So I've already got a small handful of those. So like I said, don't hesitate. Send them in. You got questions. I may not answer them fully in YouTube or X, but I'm telling you, I'm seeing them and I'm jotting them down and I'm saving them for when I'm on camera. When the lights are the brightest, the big boy comes out and I bring the big guns. All right. Yep. It's what I presumed it was going to do. Get to the side here and watch it. There we go. It's decided to stop right there. Well, all right, everybody. I hope y'all have a great rest of your Sunday afternoon. Great rest of your weekend, what's left of it. The weather just looks tremendous now here in Houston, so hopefully it's not too wet. The ground's obviously still too wet, but hopefully y'all can get out and do some stuff. Hope everybody has a great start to their weeks tomorrow. And yeah, I'll get this uploaded as soon as I can later today. And I am going to be on a space here on X in about an hour with Omar. His handle is Holmar's Blog, both on YouTube and on X, but the space will be on X, and he has a subscriber space every Sunday. I highly, highly, highly recommend you getting an X account and subscribing to Holmar's Blog, because he is bar none the best resource in the Tesla community for all things Tesla. He's got about a 188 IQ. I'm obviously being facetious there. He's a smart kid. You know, he's one day he'll get to my level. You know, it just, you know, IQ level wise, but you know, he's a kid. He'll get there. It's obviously a joke, but yeah, highly recommend getting on X and subscribing to Omar. And he's got some great spaces on Sunday And so any run spaces throughout the week as well, but we do a subscriber space on Sunday, so I will be on that in about an hour. It's 2:30 right now, so I think it's scheduled for 3:30 Central Time. So you still got time. Well, you're not going to, by the time I upload this, that space will have been well over. But yeah, and so if I see you there, say hey to me. Say hey, JC. You got to raise your hand to say hey, though. But raise your hand and say hey, JC. I always love talking to people. So anyway, I'm going to shut her down, get this uploaded, and I will talk to y'all again soon, probably tomorrow. All right, everybody. Have a good one. Bye-bye.